Hello class, today we are going to be looking at a meaning of hypothesis. Hypothesis is very important in empirical research, and of course when you are making your empirical research you must have ideas of what the situation at hand is all about before you even start your project. You don't just want to write project without having prior knowledge or little ideas or information or theories related to that particular situation you are like to search about. So if you want to start a project, you need to make some assumptions based on your own prior knowledge. So the assumption you make, the predictive statements you make, which might be true or false about a situation at the beginning of the research, it's what we call hypothesis. So mind you, giving you project by a lecturer, trying to go and research yourself, you must have little ideas, or you read some theories about that particular idea. This will help you to form your own hypothesis, which is very important. So hypothesis by definition now, hypotheses are predictive statements that may be true or false. So it's a predictive statement that is made when this research is about to start, and it's also an assumption you make about the research. So when your when your hypothesis is very clear or is well designed, then the problem is of course solved. Now, so that is the meaning of hypothesis. Hypotheses are predictive statements that may be true or false. So it's a statement you make about the research or the project, which may be true or false. For instance, now let's look at these statements now. Maybe you have a project about the academic performance of male students and female students in universities, and you don't just make assumptions. You don't just make a statement about what is going to be your likely result. You must have some ideas about it. You must have some information. And in that case, now, if I want to make my own my own predictive statement or hypothesis about it, I can simply say that there is there is there is significant there is significant difference between male students' performance and female students' performance in university. Can you get that now? There is significant difference between male student and female student performance in university. That statement I made now, it's a predictive statement of testing the the academic performance of male students and female students in the university. Do you understand that? And I can even change it to male students, academic performance of male students depends on academic performance of female students in university. So that is another way of making hypothesis. I'm going to explain the forms of the way of making hypothesis now. Now, I think you understand what is hypothesis. Now, hypothesis is just a statement you make about a predictive statement you make about a situation, and again, it could be true or false. But at least you have something to start with. You have assumptions to start with. Then let's now look at the way hypotheses appear. Hypotheses appear majorly in three ways. Hypotheses appear majorly in three ways. This is where I am now. I've talked about definition. Now let's go to hypothesis may appear in three ways. So the first one is descriptive. Let me start with difference. Hypothesis might be in difference. Maybe, for instance, the statement that I made earlier on, that there is significant difference between academic performance of male students and female students in university. So this means that I'm looking at the difference now between two variables. So when you make it, you want to test the difference between two variables. What are the two variables now? I have the male, I have the academic performance, then I have the students, I have female and male. So when you're talking about variables, these are the uh, uh, dependent variable and independent variable. You look at the academic performance, you look at the female, then you look at the male. So it depends on how you want to explain that. Anyway, I'm still going to come to that later. Let me give you another example now. Maybe you have something like this: academic performance of male students determines academic performance of female student university. This statement now, I'm saying that academic performance of male students determines, so male students, academic performance of male students determines academic performance of female students. So it means that this way now, academic performance of male students determines academic performance of female students. If you look at this now, I have two variables here. I have academic performance of female student and I have academic performance of male student. So I'm now making this academic performance of male student to be the independent variables, that is the regressor, that is the one that determines other. So it means that the performance of male student determines here. So this is going to be independent variable. This is going to be dependent variables. So that is another one. So in this case now, what I'm making now is not significance now, or not. It's not difference rather. So this kind of hypothesis now, it is relational or associational hypothesis. Associational or relational is that one variable relates or determines by other. So what you are making, the statement you are making is that one particular something depends on another. So that is what we refer as a relational hypothesis. But when you are making a statement whereby there is a difference between, or there is no difference between two different things, that is difference hypothesis. But when you are saying that something determines other, that is relational hypothesis. So this has to do with you, of course. It has to do with you. It has to do with what you want to work on. So, but as a student, as a researcher, you must be able to, if you are given a question, you must be able to know that this is difference hypothesis and this is relational hypothesis. But in I think I've mentioned two ways. I've mentioned the difference hypothesis, I've mentioned associational hypothesis, and then the last one is a descriptive hypothesis. This descriptive hypothesis is just it tries to test. In fact, it just summarizes data. That is for the third one. The third one, which is descriptive. Descriptive hypothesis summarizes data. Like, for instance, students on campus prefer night reading to let's say students on campus prefers individual reading to general reading. So that is just summary. Now I can take it again now. Can you remind me the first hypothesis, the first form of hypothesis we can have now? We can come in what's relational hypothesis or associational hypothesis. And what is that? Associational hypothesis is hypothesis whereby we are having one variable determines another variables. Do you understand? Then we also have difference when we are stating the difference between one variable and other variable. Stating the difference between academic performance of male and also difference between academic performance of male and academic performance of female. Can you get that now? But when you are saying academic performance of male academic performance of male determines academic performance of female, that is what associational. Do you understand? Then the last one is descriptive, which summarizes the data. Now, let me quickly wrap it up with this, that we have hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is the act of testing the statement you have made. In our next video, we are going to see how what we call one-tail or two-tail error and so many other things you need to know before you start your project.